The Israeli military says it's been carrying out demolitions in southern Lebanon despite agreeing to a truce with Lebanon on Thursday. Israeli Defense Minister Israel Katz says the house demolitions will remove border-adjacent threats once and for all and establish a security zone there. The area had been the scene of heavy fighting between Israeli forces and Hezbollah militants. Meanwhile, the leader of Hezbollah says the truce cannot be one-sided and has vowed to respond to Israeli attacks. Let's listen now to some of the Lebanese people who've been displaced by the fighting.
I retired on February 28th and opened the small shop as a grocery store to work in and spend my time. Then the war broke out on March 1st and nothing was left of the shop.
We don't know what will happen. I don't know if I should repair my shop or if the bombings will start again. I came to see for myself. I'll wait 10 days, and if the truce holds, I'll repair it.
For more on this, we can now bring in Marie Yared, Senior Global Campaigner at the Avaaz Foundation. Marie, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with us today. Now, you've organized a petition called Lebanon Will Not Be the Next Gaza, in which you address both the French president and the French foreign minister. Why are you directing this to their attention?
So this campaign was initiated first by French Lebanese citizens, then French Israeli citizens who are also co-signers of the initiative. This petition is already signed by more than 100,000 people. Why are we addressing Macron and his Minister of Foreign Affairs? Because Macron was actually the warrant of the ceasefire. Before this full-on war that started in March, actually there was a ceasefire between Lebanon and Israel. This ceasefire started in November 2024 and lasted until February 2026, and it was violated more than 15,000 times by Israel. So Macron was supposed to really be the warrant of this ceasefire, and he didn't do something substantial to stop Israel from escalating.
Marie, what are you hoping this petition can accomplish?
So next week, the EU leaders are meeting in Cyprus. And these EU leaders, after April 8th, where there was a very violent attack from the Israeli in Lebanon, decided to put on the sanctions on the agenda. We are just pressuring the EU leaders to take their responsibilities. They say they have an agreement today, which is a preferential trade with Israel. It's very beneficial to Israel, and this preferential trade still went on despite massive human rights violations. And I have to tell you that one day after Russia attacked Ukraine, a similar preferential trade agreement was suspended between the EU and Russia. So why not with Israel?
Now, Marie, as you mentioned, we have been here before, back in November 2024, with a previous agreement. What is different this time, if anything? And can we expect Israel and Hezbollah to come to terms, for Hezbollah to actually disarm?
So the situation is slightly similar. There is now an invasion and an occupation of the southern part of the country, which has been massively bombed. So a lot of villages have been basically erased. What is different is this occupation, which is not legal, obviously. The bombing, yes, continue. People cannot go back home. There is 1 out of 5 people today that don't have a house. So it's not a sustainable situation. You have to realize when you look at a map of Lebanon that it's as big as Paris region. It's a very small country where there are already a lot of refugees. And now with these displaced people, it's like it's a bomb that is about to explode. So of course, a situation must be found, and Israel cannot keep expanding in the southern part of the country.
Now, Marie, as you mentioned, 2,000 people have been killed, at least, displaced, tens of thousands more displaced. Now, I understand that you have relatives in Lebanon. Do you have any news of them, and has the ceasefire changed anything for them?
So my family is mostly in Beirut, and obviously they have been scared by the bombings. The noise of the bombings has prevented them from sleep at night. It was scary. And in Beirut, like the flood from the south has been like, it's really, really evident that they are like, it's much more crowded space. There is an anxiety. It's a country that is already very poor, and people are really anxious about the future. They don't trust Israel because Israel in the past has occupied the country, and Israel did not respect the ceasefires. So there is a lack of trust for the future.
And Marie, what can be done to help the Lebanese civilian population?
I think one of the things, many countries are allies. The respect of international law is not a favor, it's a responsibility. And our leaders have to act. So, of course, challenging our leaders is something that is in our power. We can keep doing it. Obviously, we can also give money to humanitarian organizations because the needs are immense. And there are also, I think, like, let me think about the many things we could do. I think let's not stop talking about Lebanon, because when Lebanon is not in the news anymore, our leaders won't do the bare minimum that they are doing right now.
Marie, yes, thank you very much for joining us today and sharing your expertise. That's Marie Yared, Senior Director at the NGO Avaaz. And